Good morning, YouTube. So, I'm in my garden, drinking my Red Bull this morning. Not in the mood for coffee, it's too hot. So, I thought I would show you what I've got going on while it's still cool and not super bright and really terrible. So, let's go. Alright, so here's my little wildflowers. Lots of flowers, zinnias. These sunflowers are getting huge. Bugs are eating on them, but they don't seem to care, and I don't mind. They're not hurting me. So here we go. This is garlic, a couple tomatoes, got some okra in here, dill over there, a couple bush green bean plants that gave me a round of harvest, and now it looks like they're gonna put on blooms and let me harvest one more time, or keep harvesting, I don't know. These pretty flowers, I still haven't figured out their name. I think they're going to seed. If anybody knows, can you tell me? Are these little things in here, are those the seeds? Oh, it's not gonna focus. There we go, a little bit. I think that's these little seed pods, but I have a feeling we're never gonna not see these flowers in my garden because they've gone crazy and they're gonna reseed big time. So here's my peppers. Exciting news this week. We got our first little jalapenos. I got a couple on there. Let's see if we can get it to focus. Phone's not wanting to focus today. But we got jalapenos there. This little guy, again, I planted these together. I topped this one. I did not top this one. So there you have it. There's my Chinese 5-star. I just topped it because it was getting pretty leggy. We'll see if it bushes out. These are a banana pepper and a California Wonder pepper. And while I'm right here, there's a little worm. I got it. A little caterpillar. I had a problem yesterday. These sunflowers, I've got two sitting right here. Somehow two got seeded. I left them. This little one, about half of its leaves were completely transparent, and on the underside were these little itty bitty tiny little caterpillar worms just sucking it dry. So I clipped most of the leaves that had all the caterpillars on them and got rid of them. And sprayed anything extra down with dish soap. It's been raining too much to try to do neem oil. It's just get washed off. Plus I burnt these guys with neem oil. A few days ago, I came out right as the sun was going down. This was in full shade. Sprayed everything down with neem because I had these little flea beetles causing damage. Like, you can see all the holes, they were causing damage, so I used neem. This was the second time, and this time it burnt my leaves. But they're still happy. These ground cherries are still hanging out. I've still got fruit hanging on them left and right. I think they'll be okay. My Alabama Red Okra has gotten pretty big. It's starting to take off. It's getting hot. I know it likes heat. Down here, I don't think I showed last week. This is basil. I've been setting out little by little as it's getting bigger and bigger. And over here is sage, but the bugs really like it. My tomatoes, these are both Crazy Cherry, and they're got little clusters of tomatoes on them, but nothing's turned. I haven't been able to harvest any tomatoes. I'll show you my tomato bed when we're done here. There's my little eggplant. He's getting a little bug damage, but I think he's gonna survive. The cucumber teepee. This is my biggest. The only one the dog didn't eat in the beginning. It's got blooms and blooms and blooms, but I don't see any like female flowers that have a little cucumber on the end, like the backside. I don't see those. All I see are regular blooms, so maybe it needs to get warmer. I don't know. We'll find out. This is my little Keuka Melon. It's finally starting to grab on. It's getting there. These other little cucumbers. That's a little Kentucky Wonder bean, I believe, and another cucumber, and I don't know, a lot of stuff in that pot. This, by the way, is a delicatessen cucumber, if that matters, but it's not giving me any fruit. There's my peppermint. Crazy invasive. This guy's gotten pretty big this week, this purple basil. I don't know. I thought it would like bush out and get real big, but it's just a single stalk. It's, I don't know. Let me know if you know how to make a bush. That's bee balm. Getting excited to see it go crazy. My Keuka Melon's got little blooms on it, and it's about up to my trellis. We're finally getting there. I'm not worried about it falling over anymore. I think it may have grabbed on somewhere at this point. This is Clemson spineless okra, starting to grow. Again, the heat. There's my Chinese noodle bean. It's getting right on up there. And finally, I've got one of these extra little babies that's starting to take off. Looks like it's going to survive. I'm excited about that. I have at least 2 plants of that. My little cluster here. It's a bush bean, zucchini, zucchini, zucchini. All too close together. This little guy, though, look at that. Gave me a little flower. Just a little male. This is all zucchini and squash. I haven't gotten anything. I had one little baby fruit that was growing and it just fell off, shriveled up and died. They were setting male flowers like left and right, and then they stopped. In the last few days, I have hardly anything. There's a couple there and that one over there. I'm hoping they're preparing their next round with male and female flowers. So maybe I can get some zucchini out of here. I did take one plant out. I had one kind of like in between right here, and it was extra crowded and tiny like that one. And so I pulled it out altogether. I figured this 2 big guys really needed the space, and I'm desperate. I want zucchini and squash. So here's hoping. There's my other sunflower. Oh, this sunflower. None of the others have done this, but this one looks like it's about to go to flower and put a head on. So that's pretty exciting. I'm trying to think anything else. Oh, all these crates over here. My husband keeps bringing them home. I'm going to add to my garden. I'm going to paint them, I think. At least some of them. I don't know if you have any other ideas. That big one I'm thinking to save for when we finally get chickens for a chick brooder. We'll see. But here's my little zinnias too at the door. These are so tiny, but this one's getting big. They're getting big. I want to show you one more thing up here in the front, and then we'll go to the back and look at tomatoes. All right. This was my Mother's Day gift. This is a Dwarf Bottlebrush bush, and I don't know if you can see it. Right in there, it's got these really cool, like, spiky red flowers. And we got this for Mother's Day for me because the bees really like it. It's supposed to be, like, pollinator's favorite. My mom has one. It's covered with honeybees all the time. So I'm really hoping this is going to help invite some pollinators to our yard. You would think all this brush would do it, but there has been a big lack in bees in my garden. Wasps everywhere. I don't see bees. So anyways, let's go back and look at tomatoes. Okay, here we are at my tomato bed. I came through over the week and I've added some extra mulch to the bottom. At this point, I just went around each plant and added mulch because it's just time they needed mulch and I ran out. So I'll be picking up some more and come back through and try to mulch this bed a little more. But here we are, our Brad's Atomic. This was our first little guy, fruit to set. We've been watching him. He's still not ready. Anybody who knows, what's the best way to tell when these are ready? That still feels firm. I'm assuming you just squeeze it, but Will it get a red color? Is it just gonna stay green and purple? I don't know, but we've got a little more setting up here. He's looking good. Let's see, this next one, I think is a pork chop. He's one that split off into two. But he's big, he's healthy, he's happy. I don't have any much bug damage back here. The bugs are staying away. Here's my other Brad's Atomic. Look at that guy. He split off too, but that's okay. I got fruit setting on him all over. This guy's looking pretty. This one is a Perone, I'm pretty sure. Little red tomatoes. This is my Cherokee Purple. Look at those guys. They're getting there, slowly but surely. I'm out here every day staring at it. This will be my first like really big tomatoes I've ever grown. Last year I did only cherry tomatoes. And we got this guy. He has blossoms. This is a crazy cherry, and there are flowers everywhere. But the only fruit I've got is this one little bitty tiny tomato down here at the bottom. I'm sure it's going to be crazy soon and it'll just explode. So then here's my biggest plant. It's huge. And yet not a single tomato on it. Finally getting flowers though, so we have hope. All of my tomatoes are due for a tie, so I'll be out here pruning and tying in the next couple days. This is the most puny of all of them. Little Perone tomato. Finally got a little fruit on it, but it's tiny. This guy, I'm gonna have to come around to the front to show you him. Okay. So this is store-bought. It's a Husky Cherry, I think. He's short and kind of puny. He's had the worst like damage in regards to bugs and whatnot, but there's tomatoes in there and it doesn't seem to care one bit. He's going to be loaded down soon. So then that's a pork chop. He split off into two as well, but I don't even think this one has any blooms on him yet. Hanging out, being happy. Need to prune a little there at the bottom, but nothing terrible. And these are pink Brandywines. I have two of them. And they're getting there. They're going to start soon, slowly. Actually, I think I just saw my first little, yeah. There's the first little fruit finally on one of these guys. That's exciting. Along my bed down here, I've got marigolds I planted from seed on both corners. And then there's some radishes. At one point, I had little sweet peas planted all throughout here, but bunnies, squirrels, something's found pretty much everything I've planted here, except the tomatoes. They leave them alone. And this purple basil. I have this one and a couple on the back side. And they leave the basil alone so far, but the radish... Hey guys, so my phone just quit recording there at the end, but we had seen everything. I hope you enjoyed my garden. I'm going to try to do this again like every week. I really like doing it. I have some other things I want to show you guys. My daughter and I just started a Worm Factory 360. We wanted to make a video, but it just didn't work out. The worms came early and we hadn't had things ready, and it just became a throw everything together type situation. So anyways, we'll try to show you guys the worms at some point, and I'll keep doing my garden tours. And as things come, I'm going to share it with you. Again, I'm Allie, and bye for now.